Ever felt like you're stuck in a twisted game with someone who thrives on control? Maybe you've encountered a narcissist, someone who always needs to be the center of attention, lacks empathy, and manipulates those around them. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from their grasp? Today, we're delving into the fascinating world of narcissistic behavior and exploring what happens when you refuse to dance to their tune. Because we're about to uncover some eye-opening truths. If you understand what narcissism is, and you accept the ideas of devaluation and abandonment, then you essentially already understand the answer to this question. Or at least, you should. So I would suggest you contemplate this carefully. I'm not saying this to be rude. I'm saying it to challenge one of the tendencies of codependency, depending on others to do what you can do for yourself. However, you need to think logically, instead of relying solely on emotions to find the answer. A discard means that he's finished with the relationship, he's moving on. It doesn't necessarily mean he hates you or wants to harm you. That would require him to actively think about you. He's simply bored with you. You're not providing him with the attention and admiration he craves. You're not boosting his self-esteem anymore, so he's done. The discard isn't about hatred. It's about finding someone else who can fulfill his needs and maintain his self-esteem, since you're no longer doing that he's decided he's bored enough to discard you. And you accept it without begging him to take you back. Think about this logically. Don't react emotionally. He's already lost interest. He's completely indifferent towards you now, and you're not begging or pleading with him. How is he most likely to respond? If he even bothers to consider it further, he's probably relieved. That is, if he even bothers to think about it at all. This is the toughest part, and it's the most painful. It's not that he hates you or wants to harm you. He's simply indifferent towards you. That's the harsh reality, and it's far worse than believing he hates you. Initially, it might be easier to convince yourself that he now hates you. On the contrary, did you ever believe, assume, or hope that when you beg, whine, and plead, it helps him maintain his self-esteem? Do you think it boosts his ego? Just in case you believe he thrives on that, let me give you a hint. Your begging doesn't inflate his ego as much as you might think. Your begging is more about you and your desire to feel needed. Your needs don't assist him in maintaining his self-esteem. It repulses him. It's repugnant to him. It demonstrates to him that you are feeble and pitiful. Begging is akin to vomiting on the carpet in his eyes. Why? Because when you beg, you're essentially pleading for your own self-esteem, which does nothing to assist him with his self-esteem. Instead, it only confirms for him that it's time to discard you. You already knew how he's going to react. You just need to think it through logically and exclude yourself and your emotions from the equation. Why should you exclude yourself from this equation? Because it's not about you, and it never was about you. It's about him regulating his self-esteem. Why are narcissists so vengeful after the discard? Let's analyze this. What truly transpired leading up to the final discard? Did you request that they treat you with respect and dignity in the relationship? Did you catch them lying or cheating? Did you refuse to yield and degrade yourself to satisfy one of their unreasonable demands? Were they engaging in deceit behind your back? Did you become fed up with their abusive and cruel behavior and confront them about it? Did you see the person behind the facade, the childish tantrum-throwing, judgmental, hypercritical, unbearably selfish individual they truly are? Did you stand up for yourself? If any of the aforementioned is true, then the narcissist feels betrayed. Consequently, they desire to completely degrade and discard you from their lives. In their distorted reality, they believe you have wronged them, and thus they shift all blame onto you to absolve themselves. rid themselves of you, and move on without any remorse. At a certain point, the narcissist realizes they can't control you anymore, and that they're losing grip on the relationship. So, they end it first to assure themselves that they were the ones who initiated the breakup. Feeling hurt, confused, and blindsided? That's precisely how they want you to feel. Has the person you thought loved and cared for you suddenly transformed into a cruel and heartless monster? That's their true self. Have they withdrawn all affection, leaving you with nothing but silence? Consider yourself punished and banished. Have they begun tarnishing your reputation in front of your shared community, workplace, friends, and family? They aim to spread their version of the story before you can, painting you as the wrongdoer and themselves as the victim. Acting as if you don't or never existed? This is because they feel rejected by you, and thus, they abandon you to protect their ego and feel superior. In their version, you are wrong and they are right. You are finished and they have moved on. But understand this regardless of what you did or didn't do. This outcome was always inevitable because narcissists are incapable of maintaining healthy and stable relationships. They will find any reason to criticize you and label you as unworthy. You deserve better than this. These individuals are highly unstable, delusional, self-serving, manipulative, and incredibly stubborn. Recognize that by standing your ground, you have upheld your dignity. Congratulations on refusing to be treated as a doormat. Now, lift yourself up, recognize your own value, love yourself, forgive yourself, and move forward with your precious life. You no longer need this miserable, chaotic, and harmful presence in your life.